Tingles with my Hello and happy best friend day! So you may never have heard of best friend day. I don't know why I said that in such a patronizing tone, but yeah, that's what I was feeling in the moment. So my best friend and I created Best Friend Day probably ages ago. I was going to say 20 years ago, but I was not 10 years old when we made it. Anyway, it might have been 2000, 2001, so it could be 15 or 16 years of Best Friend Day being in existence. So I do have a lovely picture of my best friend and me. This might actually be like 10 years ago. Oh, people might notice. I know, people have been dying to see me with no unibrow. I think I'm actually slightly plucked there. Yeah, so all of my unibrow haters can be happy. My best friend was trying to talk me into doing some grooming. No, it was right after I split up with my ex, and she was like worried that people were going to judge me and that I wasn't going to get recognized. So I was like, okay, whatever, I'll, do it for Stefanie. And so I did it for a little while, and then I was like, nah, this isn't me, and kind of stopped on it. And then when I met my love, and he said, I love your eyebrows, and I was like, it's a match made in heaven. You love my unibrow, I love it too. Let's be in love forever. It wasn't about my unibrow. Anyway, this is Stefanie. She's a lovely lady. She'd probably think I sound weird because I don't talk like this normally when I talk to her. But I want to still help soothe and relax my lovely tinklings. But I do want to celebrate my best friend as well. She's an amazing person. She's spunky. You can probably just see by looking at her that she's a live wire. Very fun. And we have tons of fun together. We laugh so much. Just laugh and laugh and laugh. We have this thing where, like, when you laugh and then you kind of have that, like, trail off to your laugh. Well, ours is very similar. And so when we trail off in laughing, we might do it at the same time, and then we end up just making each other laugh. So when we're together in person, it doesn't happen really over Skype. And I think it's because of the timing being off on Skype, because there's a slight delay. But when we're in person, we can laugh. We can, just start laughing about something not really that funny necessarily. And we can just end up laughing for 10 minutes. Like, seriously. And by the end of it, we have no idea what we're laughing at. Because we're just, like, in tears. Because we're just laughing so hard. Because we can't even handle it. And it's the best. I love laughing with Stefanie. It's the best. I think I'm just going to tell random anecdotes. Okay, first we'll get into why is Best Friend Day on May the 8th. So Stefanie has a thing about numbers. She has her favorite numbers, very particular about them, 3 and 8. She was born on the 8th of the month. Don't know if that's why 8 is one of her favorite numbers. Don't know about 3. So 3 and 8 are her favorite numbers. And she's born on the 8th. I'm born on the 5th. And so So when we made best friend day, and I was like, well, 8 minus 3 is 5. I'm in the middle of, I don't know, this friendship, and so 5 represents me, so 5-8 is best friend day, May 8th. And we've had lots of good best friend days. Early on, it's at my dad's house. Sometime I should get it, but I have this little jar, and it says best friends on the front. And it has like this little potpourri on the top and a cork top. And then on the inside, it has all of these papers full of little memories. And just, memories of what we, just us together. I also made a quilt with my mom for best friend day. I should be able to get a picture of that. So actually here, I'll show you. Pretty big quilt. Very proud. My mom helped a lot. I can't sew that quickly. If you've been following the progress of my Yuzi quilt, you know it's been slow going. I can whip it up sometimes, but I need to be around my family. I can sew quickly with my mom and my sister, then I can get in the groove, but on my own, I'm not quite as... Maybe I'll do a lot of work on my Yuzi quilt while my mom's here. Although I also need to study because I have exams. Anyway, that is not about this person. Anyway, so I made her that quilt. And then I also made this little book of memories. And I put so much time into that. It's actually really funny. I'm going to divert to tell a little funny story here. So I stayed up all night. So pulled an all-nighter the day before Best Friend Day to finish this. So we used to go to movies all the time. We had all of our little things. I love all the little things. Like we used to get the cone with the curly fries. And there was one that sold like proper food. I don't know, we got nachos. We used to love going to the movies. We used to go to the movies all the time. We had so much fun at the movies. I just used to go to the movies so much. Anyway, so I kept all our ticket stubs. So I made a copy of them, a color copy, because I didn't want to lose all the original ticket stubs, even though I don't think I have them now. Also would have been too hard to put them on. But anyway, and so I created a collage out of all of the movie stubs and put that on the cover of this book. And it was a full book, like full of memories. And it has all these little sections. So we had, like, obviously we're teenage girls at the time, and so it was all about who we had crushes on and, who we thought was hot and that sort of thing. So we had all these, like, hot guys. It was like, but it wasn't just like, oh, that guy is hot. It was always, oh, hot guy, shelter guy, hot guy. Hot guy, Juliana's hot guy. He was also hot guy, Legolas hot guy, because he had really long hair, and so we thought he looked like Legolas. And we also thought Legolas was hot as well. There was a hot guy. What was that guy's name? I don't know. I know that guy's like bald now, but he has really gorgeous eyes. Can't remember. Shelter Hawkeye actually looked more like Orlando Bloom, like without the long hair. Kind of interesting. I'm just trying to think of all the Hawkeyes. I don't know. We had so many things. I remember this one day we laid out, because her parents got a pool while I was in high school. And so we used to go into the pool. And then there were also times where the pool wouldn't be heated, and it was like late October, and it was getting really cold. But we were just like, now we're gonna go in. And then we were just like, the only reason either of us went in was because the other was there to kind of egg the other on. I don't know. I actually gave a speech about that in 10th grade. Like, I think I started it. It's 10 o'clock and it's freezing. Now I'm about to jump in a pool. And why? And I gave a speech about Stefanie. Because she's really special. And so she had a little bit of ADD as well. And so I used to help her sometimes with different things. And we just kind of talked about, I mean, so many, like, all these things are running in my mind. Anyway, but yeah, so I used to help her with certain things. So we were in pre-calculus, and we're doing these, things. And we had this packet that we had to do. And so we spent like 8 hours together trying to help her through the packet. And I was giving her all these little things, and so I had like Chicka Chicka Slim Shady, because like that song, the Slim Shady song, was a big thing then. God, I forgot where I was started with this. Slim Shady. No, it was about the helping her. Oh, so in 11th grade, which if you've heard my history before was my last year of high school, before I went off to college, which I kind of abandoned my best friend. That was bad best friend behavior. I was also really stressed then because, I don't know, school was really stressing me then. And also, I was getting to an angsty teenage year where my brain wasn't ready to be still living with a parental figure, even as chill and laid back as my dad. Oh, see, anyway, I forgot that story. Okay, gonna go back. So, I created this book, pulled an all-nighter. So the morning of that, I haven't slept all night, and my dad just comes down and he's like, oh yeah, I noticed that the tires and the air pressure in the tires is a bit low. So yeah, you just kind of need to check that a bit more often. Like, he was very nice about it, and I burst into tears. And it was funny because I could feel myself crying, but I knew I wasn't sad, and I could just, it was most a bizarre experience. Because I know he reacted really strange, like, oh, what's going on here? And I was like, just trying to sound as normal as I could, to be like, oh, I'm just crying because I'm tired, But it was, anyway, so it was really funny. I just burst into tears because he asked me really nicely to just, be better about checking the pressure in the tires. I'm still very bad about checking the pressure in the tires. Fortunately, me and my love share a car, so he takes care of that. Not because, anyway. Yeah, not because he's a man. I think if my dad was married to someone, they would take care of the car things. It's very, my family type thing. My aunt hates driving, my sister hates driving, my dad hates driving, I hate driving, I don't know. It's just not my thing. Anyway, back to best friends. So, back to the other story I was saying. So, this one time we had to come up with a poem. No, I didn't have to in mine. No, you did. Anyway, it was around prom time. No, I had to do a different poem. Anyway, I think because we were in the same classes, but like taking them in a different period. So I'm not sure if we had a different assignment or if I had already written my own poem. I don't remember. My poem, I don't remember. It wasn't very interesting. But we spent all night writing this poem together. Because you have to recite a poem. So guys had to write a poem asking a girl, and the girls had to write a poem saying yes or no. And so it's really actually a bit weird, because I would have thought, like, our teacher was a female, she had a doctorate. I would have thought she would have been a little bit more feministly minded to think that kind of antiquated gender roles. Anyway, that's what the assignment was. Anyway, and so this is the poem. I'll recite it as much as I can remember. This is the poem that we came up with. And I thought it was hilarious at the time. And Stefanie didn't get the best reception, but anyway. If I would have been there, I would have been cheering loudly for this amazing poem. Anyway, so it's, if I was a little boot, perhaps with you to prom I'd scoot. But forsooth, a boot I'm not, so I can't give this a shot. I have a friend who needs a date. Ask her now, before too late. Go and have a lovely time, for I'm almost out of rhyme. Thus I must say nay to thee, for a boot I could never be. So very silly, obviously. I don't know what the boot has to do with anything, and that is what I love about it. But anyway, so we had fun writing that, and I think I missed 2 lines, but I couldn't remember what they were, because I think it was supposed to be 12 lines. That just makes me think, because in that course we had to memorize a poem and present it as well. And I think I can remember that one, which is, farewell to a name and a number, recalled again, to darkness and silence and slumber, and blood and pain. So ceases a soldier keep cheap to the king and dear to me. I don't remember it that well. I obviously remember the beginning part, but not on from there. Not good with my poetry, am I? If you would like a video on reciting poems, I could do that. Yeah, anyway, if you're interested, let me know. I like that one. That was by E. Cummins. I'd probably get some interesting poetry coming up. Probably some real feminist poetry. I am very feminist. Yeah. Proud of it. Oh man. I had this crush on this guy. I probably shouldn't say his name on here, so I won't. But anyway, and I was just obsessed. And he was really a bit icky. I don't know, he just wasn't a great guy. And so Stefanie hated when I would talk about him. And I was really obsessed, so obviously I was talking about him a lot. Anyway, she was so happy when I got over that one. But anyway, that's the guy. If you heard about when I came up with the name Flyby, it was when I was obsessed with that guy, and I went onto this forum to stalk him or whatever. Anyway, and so I made my own little profile on there, but I didn't want it to be my normal name. So that was fun. And we used to, so me and Stefanie used to spend nights at each other's houses all the time. Man, we had this song, the song we had so much fun with. A lot of it was, we were just writing random stuff down. It's kind of a very flow of consciousness, but I wrote down so much, like, because Stefanie just kind of just says what's up in her brain. And so she was like looking up at the sprinklers up on the ceiling. And she's like, sometimes you just look at those and think they're gonna say wetness, wetness, something like that. And so we were doing this song, so we've been writing all these things down. And so when she started saying anything, I just started writing it down. So it was a great night But it was also funny because my dad was complaining about something, and he was saying, like, here's your friggin' $100 check. So we wrote that into the song. So it was just great. We were getting all these funny things. And then we had him recite it back. And we had so much fun. Yeah, I mean, that is one of, there are lots of things that I am sad about being away from the States. You know, like, especially, like, as my nieces and nephew grow up. Like, you know, it's sad to be away from them. But yeah, like, being away from Stefanie is one of the biggest things. And we've talked about, I really think that we should, maybe in a few years, but go do a trip, the two of us. We were talking about going to Italy, and I just think it'd be so fun to go to Italy together. She drove cross country with me. It was really funny because it was when I was about to get married, so 20, super old, I know. But anyway, and we stopped at this hotel, and we were in a pool, and we're just like, man, you know, you feel like you should be able to have fun like you did when you were a kid. And we tried to, like, pretend, like, with a mermaid and all of that. And then after a couple of minutes, we just looked at each other and just like, this is not working. Like, it's just not happening, you know? We're just not in that space. It's just interesting to see how your brain chemistry changes as you get older, changes your sensibilities, and it's really interesting. But it's so funny because it doesn't really matter how much time passes, we always, you know, I think we've probably gone, you know, a year or two at times without talking, but as soon as we talk again, it's just right back there, you know, it doesn't matter. But I've been making more of an effort to stay in contact lately because, you know, this is, like, you know, somebody really important to me. And so, yeah, we haven't lately, because the way the time changes work is, so when you have daylight savings begin, it ends over here, and vice versa. And so it's always a 2-hour swing whenever daylight savings changes. So that can be a real pain, and especially if you have all these Skype dates lined up and they all go into whack, especially because in the US it's like 3 weeks different to when it goes here. Anyway, so it can really throw schedules into madness. But yeah. And yeah, anyway, so she has a little son, William. He'll be 2 this year. He's a cutie. I haven't seen him in person yet. Sad day. I didn't go to Stefanie's wedding either. It's funny because my dad actually offered to pay for me to go, but I was unemployed at the time. And this is part of what I was talking about the mental state. I don't know, I'm saying I was talking about this. I don't know if I actually talked about this, so. But there's a mental state the mental state that I was in when I was unemployed was I just felt so, just no freedom at all, because I didn't know where my future was going to be coming from, if that makes sense. So, because I was here and not a permanent resident, not a citizen, I couldn't get any sort of benefits from the government or anything like that because I couldn't find a job, which is completely understandable. But it was also annoying because I was going to be here permanently, but nobody wanted to hire me. And so I was having a really hard time getting through that, and I didn't feel any space because I felt like, yeah, just, going for a week over, overseas, that's giving up the week that, I need to be looking for a job and figuring out what I'm going to do, because my bank account's just going down and I need to, be doing something to change that. And so, yeah, it was really tough, because that's really the reason I didn't go. It's also because I don't value weddings a lot, necessarily, which is why I eloped the second time, because I feel like you can't really connect to a lot of people. I do like going to weddings. It is, kind of cool, but it's not the most value proposition for traveling thousands of miles to me. That's what I was saying to my dad. I was like, I'd probably rather, go on a trip after I have a job and be able to spend like a week with Stefanie, or, just like with me and her. Well, or her and her husband and all that, but like without all these other people around. Because I'm a very individual person. I like one-on-one, which is why I've made this new friend lately, and she was inviting me up. She's like, oh, we could have a party. And I was like, no, that's not me. I'm like, yeah, how about you and me have a dinner? I'm great with that. I love, I really like you as a person, but it's hard for me to, there are some groups I like, but I prefer one-on-one interaction, or really small groups, 2 or 3 people, that sort of thing, a couple, that sort of thing. Anyway. That reminds me, there was this one time, so Boy Meets World, I think a lot of people used to watch that when they were our age, or, back then. So there was this one time, and we were on the phone. So we were just on the phone, but we were watching Boy Meets World. And that's funny, because in my head, I actually see the episode on her TV, even though I was not at her house. But so we were talking on the phone, and we were looking, and there was this pumpkin pie on screen, and we're like, that looks so good. I want pumpkin pie so much. I also love Seagram's ginger ale. I need some Seagram's ginger ale, actually. It's really good ginger ale. It's the best. The official best friend day ginger ale, so it's gotta be. Anyway, so it was really fun. When we decided to invent Best Friend Day, I don't know, something I think is really cool. It's funny because I'm looking back and I know it's me, but I also kind of, I don't know, I just feel like such a different person from when I was then. So I can look back and be like, man, that was a pretty cool thing. But I don't feel like I'm being arrogant, whereas if I'm doing something now and I call it cool, I know I'm being arrogant. But anyway, no, because I'm just like, we're a 15-year-old and that's, what we chose to do. I think that's pretty neat. Anyway, so, because what we did is, we're like, oh, it's going to be Best Friend Day, so we decided to make dinner for our parents. So I lived with my dad. My mom was up in New York. I didn't try to invite her down, but that was just because I was going to invite my dad anyway. I don't like to try and make them be together too often. And then Stefanie's parents. So we had it at Stefanie's house, and we cooked this pork thing and a few different things. The pork ended up really dry, but yeah, that was just fun. And we had her parents there, and her dad. Really sad. He died in November, and it's just sad that he's gone. He's a really funny character, and just, he's just him. And yeah, no, he was a cool guy. He got in a car accident. Somebody ran head-on into him crossing lane of traffic, so pretty rough. But yeah, so we decided we would make dinner for our parents. I just think that's pretty cool. That's what we decided to do for our best friend day was, oh yeah, we're gonna make this meal and, invite everybody over. The official best friend day cookie is snickerdoodle. I should have made some snickerdoodles. I made snickerdoodles last year around best friend day, and I took a picture, a little selfie, of course. I took selfies before selfies were a thing, though. I have documented, there we go, there's already a word, I don't need to create one. Documented evidence, because I used to, just with my old camera, I used to always take selfies. Anyway, that's just, I always wanted to know, I don't know, I always wanted to look good in front of the camera. Maybe that's why I'm a YouTube sensation now. I know, such a sensation. But anyway, I do appreciate all of my lovely tinklings. You are lovely, and I love connecting with you. Man, I just have to go make some snickerdoodles now. Everybody has to go make snickerdoodles to celebrate Best Friend Day. Oh, that's what I was gonna do last time. I have done this. Okay, little secret. It's not actually Best Friend Day here, because I record these early and upload them later. So last year, I decided like 2 days before Best Friend Day that I was going to try and order some snickerdoodle cookies from a little shop where my best friend lives in Philadelphia. But I was going to be on a Sunday? I don't remember what the situation was. But it was over a weekend and I hadn't ordered early enough. And so I couldn't really get it done. But this year, I could actually do it. So, I might have to be ordering some special cookies for a special lady. But I ended up getting goldfish. I don't remember if I got secrets. I don't know. I got a few different things. We had a thing about Mentos. No, we had, I don't know, just our little things. And so I ordered her a few things. And I ordered Room on a Broom. That's my favorite children's book, as an adult at least. I love that book. It's so fun. I should read that one time. That'd be a good video. Maybe more for children, but children can get ASMR as well. Obviously, because, anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, that's what I talked about. No, because I talked about this in my first video. Because the first video is sound died. If you actually look closely at this picture, this is a picture of two of us. We also love taking pictures of us laughing, because we go crazy laughing. But you might notice a little bit of eyebrow missing there in Ms. Flyby's face. And that is because it was right after, around the time when I'd split up with my ex. And Stefanie was worried that I wasn't going to attract someone because of my eyebrows. And so she's like, please, Jenny, I just feel like people are going to judge you. I don't know why I'm making her sound like that. And so she's like, oh, you should do something with your eyebrows. And so I was like, okay, I'll do it for Stefanie. So I did it for a few months. I went and got them waxed because I couldn't be stuffed plucking them. And actually, I really liked the girl I got them plucked from, and I did get ASMR from her. But, yeah, it still wasn't for me. I was like, no, I like this. This isn't me. And then I met my love, and he loved my eyebrows, and I was like, completely justified in everything that I thought. And also that, well, anyway, I know lots of people are judged on their looks, but I know women are more harshly judged on their looks. But I still think I don't care. I am not going to buy into that. Which you can obviously tell with my channel. Which is why, even though people suggest that I should show more cleavage and do my eyebrows, nobody's actually said much about makeup. Because I'm like, I sometimes show that I have pimples on my face or anything like that. People don't say anything about that, which is really weird to me. Because to me, when I'm looking at it, that upsets me a lot more than my eyebrows. But I also, anyway, it doesn't upset me that much, though. Just, Okay. This really got very rambling, which I knew it would. And I will always love you. Okay, just a random little song. Hopefully that won't impact my monetization on this video. Don't want to miss out on that 50 cents to win. No, sorry, Bob. I know. I'm not complaining about, I don't know. I just meant more so because I'm like, oh dear. But then I'm like, well, it's not really that big of a deal because it's not actually that much money. It's more so because I am, I'm thinking about doing this. I really want to do this hotel chicken. I'm obsessed. I'm thinking about it all the time. I'm thinking about going to the Intercontinental. I've looked at it. I've decided on the room. It's going to be the top of the Intercontinental. It's a, executive suite or something like that with a river view. So it'll be a gorgeous view. You can see Adelaide Oval from there. Anyway. But, so that's what I'm saving all my channel money for right now. And so, probably towards the end of the year, be able to have enough money to go and do that. So it'll be so fun. I'm really excited. And I'll probably try and do 4 or 5 videos in there and sneak out in the AM and go and do a secret video of the lounge and the upper areas where they come out and give you canapes and cocktails and drinks and everything like that. Which I loved when I was in the Langham in Auckland, which we're specifically going back to Auckland to go to Langham. Well, we also want to go and get a feast again from the Hobbit Holes, which was so good. So good. Anyway. So, that is some little snippets of stories about me and Stefanie. There is a lot of history there. And she's a really special person. And so, to all of you out there who have a designated best friend, wish them a happy best friend day, even though they won't know what it is. And tell them Flyby and Stefanie endorse their friendship.